Today is May the 4th, so what a better day to talk about some Star Wars retro games. You can probably guess a little bit by the scenery and with the poster, the Darth Vader tattoo, and the t-shirt that I am a big Star Wars fan. And the one thing that got me into Star Wars as a kid were the video games. I didn't watch the movies first, I played the games, and then proceeded to watch the movies, and that's how I became how big of a fan I am today. So today, I want to take the time to celebrate May 4th by showing you what games got me into the Star Wars franchise and that I enjoyed playing as a kid. But before we start, I thought it'd actually be cool to show you something related to Star Wars, and I want to show you this. This is a Shae Vizsla figure. If you don't know who Shae Vizsla is, she's a character from Star Wars: The Old Republic, which I managed to get my hands on one of her figures, and I just thought that was cool to show you before we got into the games. Star Wars 3 Revenge of the Sith, probably one of the best Star Wars video games to ever come out that still hasn't managed to leave its original platform. Even the cover art for this game was insane. This game was, in my honest opinion, one of the best competitors to God of War on the PlayStation 2. Now, of course, its level and game design aren't as good as God of War, but for a Star Wars fan, this was a treat at the time. This was a hack and slash game where you could play as Anakin and Obi-Wan, and you managed to just go and slash through droids through the plot of Star Wars' third movie. As you can see here by the back, even the graphics at the time were insane. I don't know how anyone who liked Star Wars wasn't immediately enticed to play and buy this game once you saw even just the box. Add to that the fact that the game also has some RPG mechanics where, depending on your performance, you get style points which you can then spend at the end of the level to upgrade your abilities, and this is a very fun game for anyone that is trying to look into older Star Wars games. So I was looking here at the box, and I just wanted to show you that nowadays discs for games don't even have as much personality as they did back in the day. So this was the inside of the box from my Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith copy, and you can just tell, like, this is beautiful. They don't make them like this nowadays, and I'm very sad that Aspyr hasn't decided to port this yet. I don't understand their decision on what they want to port to modern platforms. I'm guessing that they are not the ones who are picking these games, because porting something like Jedi Power Battles instead of a game like this, which is adored by many, and many YouTubers even have gone out of their way to record videos about, is completely over me. So I'm not really sure why they made the decision to do so. Now, for the second game, I want to talk about Star Wars Battlefront. And you might be asking, am I talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2005? I'm not. I'm talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2004, the original one that started the Battlefront IP. And this game was the second game I ever owned. If you guys want to know about the first game I've ever owned, make sure to subscribe and tell me in the comments if you want a video about that. But this was the second game I ever owned. And the first memory I have about this is my mom, for some reason, not actually wanting me to have this, thinking it was a little bit too violent. And considering I was something under 7 or 6 years old, I can understand why she thought that, but this game is not really violent at all. Well, you're killing people, but it's not really violent. Now, the cover art for this, it's amazing. It's more original trilogy focused, even though the game, despite being in 2004, featured Clone Wars characters and maps that you could play through. You can even see here on the back, you have a jet trooper right here, but the other maps are like original trilogy oriented. You have like Bespin right here. This is Bespin, the ground levels. This is the Cloud City platforms, and here is Hoth. All recognizable maps. One thing about Battlefront 2004 is that if you know anything about this game, you probably know about this. But this game was like a delight to play. I had so much fun playing this with my father. My father knows like close to nothing about Star Wars, but this was a complete blast. And this art right here is really like, it's so good. Like looking at the back of this as a kid was just amazing to look at. And I'm looking here to the right because I'm seeing what I'm showing on screen. But the one thing I can tell you about this game, as I've been playing it lately, not only to record footage, but to go back and enjoy a little bit more of these old Star Wars games, is that this game is hard. I'm playing it on medium, and I'm going through a little bit of Galactic Conquest. Now, this game isn't really big on how much content it has, but you can make your own fun in it by playing instant action in maps you might want to tackle, or Galactic Conquest, which is this sort of a campaign you can do with whatever faction you prefer to conquer planets until you just conquer the entire galaxy and win. and I've been playing a little bit of the Empire Galactic Conquest, and this game is hard. The NPCs and the AI were completely brutal for the time. They just shoot you on sight, they defend their command posts by spawning at like tens of them at a time, and you will actually end up losing if you don't like play strategically. Now, the sniper class is a little bit broken in this game, but no matter what you are playing, you will feel like paperweight. It doesn't help that you can't play as Jedi in this game and that the controls for flying ships are completely horrendous, but I genuinely think that this is one of the most underappreciated Star Wars games that I wish we could see a proper remaster of, because playing the Aspire Battlefront Classic Collection, not only the servers aren't properly like functioning, but the ultra-wide features for it are just completely broken. The UI is completely messed up, but that's not the point here. What I'm trying to say is that this game is probably the game that started what modern Star Wars games try to emulate, and it did it very well. Now, this one, I don't have the original disc, and it's completely like destroyed. I only have the platinum version right here. It doesn't even have a manual, so I don't have like much to show you in regards to the disc itself. But once again, cover art with netplay. If you had an adapter to put into your PlayStation 2, this game was a banger. And now for the last one, the game that really decided and imprinted in my brain that I was going to be a Star Wars fan. I'm talking about Lego Star Wars, not the original trilogy, not the complete saga. I'm talking about Lego Star Wars, the video game. This game, I'd wager, is one of the most important games in my life. It's the reason I like Star Wars. It's the reason I love Lego. It's the reason I love gaming. I don't know how to portray this feeling of what I actually feel when I play and I look at things about this game. And let me just show you here the cover art, completely beautiful, and the back also amazing. This game is just a mix of emotions for me. It's something that I am very, very fond of. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time. I usually give that slot to Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, but when it comes to emotional impact and not just actual game design itself, I think Lego Star Wars the video game was my favorite game of all time growing up, because everything from the levels, the hub, which is much better than the original trilogies and the complete saga. You manage to actually go to Dexter's Diner, but for some reason, once you are moving around the hub in the game, it looks like you're in the back rooms. It doesn't look like you're in Coruscant. But nevertheless, I really, really enjoyed this game. It has some visible and notable differences from the complete saga, mainly in the difficulty of some levels, because they really sucked back then. Mainly the ship levels, like the pod racing and the end of the Attack of the Clones campaign, were really, really bad. But other than that, I really think the vibes on the first one, even graphically, the UI they used, the different fonts that it had compared to the complete saga and the original trilogy, were just a whole different vibe. And this is probably one of my favorite games of all time, if I have to say it like 20 or 30 times. I'm reading the back here, and it says all the characters, all the fun, could be the greatest Star Wars video game ever, so full of ideas and charm that we love it. And I'm just thinking to myself that they don't really make them like this anymore. So I decided to make this video to show you some games that had an impact on me while growing up that were related to Star Wars. Now, of course, I know and have played a lot of Star Wars retro games that are not these three, like Battlefront 2, Jedi Knight Jedi Outcast, things like Dark Forces, Empire at War. There are so many games to cover when it comes to Star Wars retro games, and I'll eventually touch up on them on this channel once I get the ball going on what I'm doing right now with this new format. But subscribe if you want to see any of that. I love these games, and I'd love to debate you more on them if you want to talk about them in the comments, so make sure to also leave a comment if you enjoyed this, and celebrate May the 4th. Life is short, and if you enjoy something like Star Wars or any IP that you are happy about, make sure to celebrate it to its full extent. Other than that,